Can everybody see the big danger sign here? This week we're going to talk about the danger hand, the concept of the danger hand. And if you've never thought about this before, you may say, well, danger, what do you mean danger? How can my one opponent be more dangerous than the other one? Well, if you've ever had a no-trump contract depend on being able to keep the opponents from cashing long cards in a suit, then you know that the person who holds long cards in that suit can set you if he gets the lead. So in that case, he would be the danger hand. You would do everything you could to keep him off lead. Or another situation where one hand is more dangerous than the other one happens when you have a vulnerable honor. We call it something like a hanging king, a king with one or two small cards with it, and you fear a lead through that king, thinking that maybe your opponent on the left has the ace and will take your only stopper in the suit. In that case, it's not the person with the long cards, it's the person on your right who could lead that suit through your vulnerable honor who is the danger hand. Now, when there's a long suit in one hand, and of course, shorter length in the other one, then declarer can use techniques like the rule of 7 or the hold-up play to avoid playing his stopper until the partner of the person with the long suit is exhausted of all of his cards in that suit. So in that case, now the opponent who has an established suit ready to run is the danger hand. It may have been before that his partner was the danger hand because you had a card that was vulnerable to have a lead through it. So the danger hand, the point I'm making here is the danger hand can change as play progresses through the hand. So the way the declarer tries to get around this problem, or to after he's identified the danger hand and the safe hand, is to try to cut communication. That's the main object of the hold-up play, to hold up a stopper until the opponent with the short cards is exhausted of all the cards in that suit. So even if he gets the lead, he can't hurt you. So once declarer knows who the danger hand is, and this is something that he can figure out from trick 1, who the danger hand is and how his plan needs to utilize that information, especially if you have a choice on which way to take a finesse. You know, we've all seen hands that present us with the opportunity to take the finesse in both directions. Maybe we have king 10 on the dummy and ace jack or in our hands and king 10 in the dummy. So we can finesse for the queen either direction. That's one of the times when you would utilize the information you have about which opponent is dangerous to decide which way to take that finesse. Now, when you're taking a finesse into the safe hand, if you have something like ace, queen, jack, opposite two small cards, if that finesse goes into the danger hand, you obviously like to live on the edge if you decide to take it. There's a 50-50 chance that it's going to work. Based on the bidding, there may be a 100% chance that it's going to fail if that danger hand happened to be the one who bid. Ace jack small opposite king 10 small, that was the one I just mentioned. That particular combination gives you a choice on which way to take a finesse. So play to the first trick. If you see that there's a danger hand, take the finesse so that the lead goes into the safe hand. There's also the situation where you have ace king 10 with 2 small opposite 3 small. This looks like you have to give up a trick, doesn't it? If left-hand opponent is the safe hand, cover whatever card your right-hand opponent plays so that you lose the trick into the safe hand. Obviously, if your right-hand opponent plays a high card, you're going to have to play one of yours if he's the dangerous opponent. Sometimes declarer needs to be lucky. You know, there is a certain element of luck in this game simply because our hands are random. That luck comes into play when declarer has to set up a side suit. And we don't know with any degree of certainty at all which opponent holds the card that will take the trick. Here, in this first example, which is the same as the third example up here, declarer needs for the safe hand to hold queen and 2 small or jack and 2 small, because that would make queen doubleton in the other hand, and the queen would drop on the second lead of the suit, along with a doubleton in the danger hand in order to be able to get extra tricks. When you have a situation that is required for you to be successful, play as though that is what exists. Obviously, it doesn't get you anywhere to pursue a plan that won't work. So when you can see a way that will work, play as though that's the way the cards lie. You won't always be successful, but when you are, then you've made your bid. Or in the case where you have the top honors missing only the ace, you need for the safe opponent to hold the ace. If he doesn't, oh well, you're going down on this hand. Do your best to forget about it and move on. Because remember, because we play duplicate bridge, everybody in the room has the same situation you do. The other time when knowing who the safe hand and the danger hand are is when you have what's known as a positional stopper. When the declarer has a positional stopper, then the player who holds the long cards in the suit is not necessarily the danger hand. Say, for instance, you have that king third holding I was talking about earlier. If the player who holds the long cards in the suit has ace queen at the top and he's on your left, if he has the lead, he can't hurt you. Your king is guarded. He can play the ace. He can play the queen. If he plays the ace, then your king is going to be good until you have to play it. If he plays the queen, then you're always getting a trick with your king right then. It's in this situation where the right-hand opponent becomes the danger hand because he can lead through your vulnerable honor. This is a hard thing for a lot of people to visualize early on. Let's have a look at what may exist here and why it's a problem. This contract is 3 no trump in the South. West leads the 6 of hearts. What's the first thing we're going to do after the opening lead hits the table and the dummy comes down? What's the first thing we do? In a no trump contract and making our plan, what do we count? Losers or winners? Winners, exactly. So how many winners do we have here right off? We have 1 in spades. The opening lead will give us at least 1 in hearts. That makes 2. We have 4 winners in diamonds. So that's 6, and we have 1 in clubs. These are tricks that can be taken without giving up the lead. To get the extra tricks we need, we're going to have to develop some side suits. Now, the opening lead is the 6. After we've counted tricks and we know how many more we have to have, the next thing we do is look at the opening lead and what happens when third hand plays, what card he plays. Well, West leads the 6, dummy plays the 4, and East plays the 10. Okay. We know now exactly how the suit lies around the table. How do we know that? Because if East had either one of the heart honors, he should have played it to the first trick. Remember, only small cards in the dummy. Third hand plays high. If he has touching honors, though, he plays only as high as necessary. So when there's are nothing but small cards in the dummy, third hand plays high. East's failure to play high tells us where the remaining heart honors are. West has the ace queen sitting over the king jack in declarer's hand. Who's the danger hand here now? Anybody have a thought? You have a 50-50 chance of getting it right, folks.
West.
West is the danger hand. Can he hurt South if he needs hearts?
No, East is the danger hand.
East is the danger hand, exactly. We have just figured out that West holds the ace queen of hearts sitting over the king jack. That means that we cannot allow East to get the lead and push another heart through the king jack, because no matter how we play that combination, West is going to win the rest of his hearts, and down we go. So if West gets the lead, he can lead the ace. That's okay. We can play the jack and still have the king. But if East gets the lead, we're toast. The contract is sunk. So in looking at where to get the extra tricks on this hand, what do you see as possibilities?
Clubs.
Clubs? That's right.
Spades.
Clubs and spades. That's right. We're going to get 4 tricks from the diamond suit. We have to play the hearts, the other suits very carefully in order to get one more heart trick, don't we? We may or may not need another heart trick, though, if we can figure out how to get 2 more tricks. If the spade finesse works, we'll get 2 more tricks. If the club finesse works, we'll get a bazillion more tricks and make lots and lots of tricks on this hand. So which one are we going to choose?
Spades.
Spade.
Yes. Why is that?
Want to finesse to the west.
That's
Not
right.
the
You
east.
want to have the lead come up to West, because West cannot hurt you. Now, if the spade finesse works, we have 2 more tricks. Lead the jack first, drop the 10 under it. If it works, you're still in the dummy to lead another card to the ace queen, and you will get tricks with the queen and jack of spades, and that's 2 more. That's all you need. If the spade finesse doesn't work, then South has to work on clubs, but he must not take a finesse. He can play to the ace and hope the king drops singleton. That's not unreasonable, is it? We have 9 of them between us. They can be divided 3-1, and the king could be singleton. In that eventuality, we have to hope that the king is either singleton or that West holds it. One of those 2 situations. It would be really, really unlucky to have the spade finesse lose and the club finesse lose. But by playing in this manner, you have given yourself the best chance to make sure you can get a lot of over tricks if you take the club finesse and it wins. But you're risking your contract if you do that. Now, it all depends on whether you're playing in a team game where safety is everything. Over tricks don't mean much. But if you are playing match points and you need a board or 2, then maybe you think it's worth it to take the risk. But as I said earlier, you take a risk into the danger hand only if you like walking along the ledge high up on a very tall building, because that is really, really tempting the fates.
Susan.
Debbie Wade has a hand raised.
All right. Hi, Debbie.
Hey, Susan. So I didn't quite understand how you were saying to take the spade finesse.
Go travel to the dummy with a diamond and lead the jack.
Okay. All
Lead
right.
the jack, drop the 10 under it. If it
Okay.
works, you're still in the dummy to lead the 3, most likely.
Yeah.
Queen, unless your right-hand opponent plays the king. Obviously, if he plays the king, you're going to take the ace, and now your queen is good. So instead of 1 spade trick, we have 3, and those 2 additional tricks give us what we need. Once you have cashed out your remaining winners and you're down to nothing but hearts and clubs, then you can take the club finesse if you're feeling lucky, but you won't have 9 tricks at that point. We counted the ace of clubs, remember? So you have to take the ace of clubs to be assured of your contract. And if the opponents have discarded the rest of their clubs, then you're not going to get any more club tricks. So you take the club finesse at your own risk at any point in this hand.
Okay, great.
See that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Here's the complete hand. I think you can see that if you decide that the club suit just has so many potential winners in it that you want to take the chance, well, you've just kissed your contract goodbye. On this hand, the cards are where we need them to be. The spade king is well guarded, but you don't care if after you've taken your 9 tricks that East gets a trick with his king of spades. You don't really care because you have your 9 tricks. As I said, this is a lesson hand. If the king of clubs is over here, or if the king of spades is over here, you've got one more trick from this holding, and you're going to have to find another one. What you would have to do is play the ace of clubs and hope that West held the ace, or the king of clubs. He doesn't. It would be extraordinarily unlucky to have both of them offside, but it does happen. But the thing that separates good players from less experienced players is that more experienced players are able to recognize things like danger hand and safe hand and which way to take finesses in order to give themselves the best chance of success. Everybody has a little bit of bad luck from time to time, but good players try not to depend totally on luck. They use the information they have to help them formulate a plan that offers the greatest chance for success rather than just luck. You can say that it would be very unlucky to have both cards offside, but this game doesn't always cooperate with us in our desires to make contracts and over tricks and all these other things. If it did, if we had rules and we followed them and it worked every time, we'd give up after playing this game 2 or 3 times because it wouldn't be a challenge, right? Mm-hmm. All right, here's a very competitive auction. Another example here. West opens with a diamond. North overcalls a heart. It's not a great suit, but this is an opening hand. So I would not hesitate to overcall with this suit, even though it doesn't have a bunch of top honors and all that other stuff, because we know West has an opening hand. Well, if the overcaller has an opening hand, the contract may well belong to the overcaller and advancer. There's an equal chance that either pair could end up with a contract is the point I'm trying to make. East raises to 2 diamonds. South says, I don't like hearts much, but I've got a decent hand here. And I've got 6 good spades here. I think, it's not common that advancer takes overcaller out of his suit. But in this case, advancer says, I've got a good suit over here. I've got 6 of them. I have 3 of the top 5 honors, and I don't have good support for you. Of course, advancer doesn't know that overcaller has a 6-card suit. So he bids 2 spades. West is not going to go quietly. He says 3 diamonds. And then North says, oh, you've got spades, huh? Well, you bid the suit at the 2 level. I know you have a hand worth 10-ish points. And you have at least 5 spades because the new major suit at the 2 level that's not raising partner suit, it's a new suit at the 2 level, promises 5 cards when it's the major suit. So North knows that there's at least an 8-card spade fit, and he knows that partner doesn't have 3-card support for his heart suit. So he bids 3 spades, and when South hears that, he says, oh my goodness, I'm 6-4. You know, the old saying, 6-4, bid more. Well, South has heard it several times, and he decides to bid the game. So South stops after the lead. The lead is not unexpected. It's the ace of diamonds. And South makes a plan. That trump suit's pretty solid. We don't have any worries in the trump suit. No losers. We have 1 loser in hearts, 1 loser in diamonds, and we have a problem in clubs, don't we? 2 potential losers there. South's going to have to play in such a way that East can't get the lead to push a club through. What makes us think that he would do that? Well, look at the North and South hands. East and West have 10 diamonds between them. If East should win a trick and he turns his head and looks to the right, he's not going to return a heart. That would just finesse his partner. He could return a trump, but that's really passive defense. And when you see a very shapely hand like that one on the dummy, and you suspect from the game bid that South has a shapely hand as well. I mean, they're both shortened diamonds, right? So they've got to have some shape elsewhere. This calls for an active defense rather than just returning a trump. The only suit left in the dummy are that offers any possibility at all are those 2 little clubs sitting there. Dummy on the right, lead the weakest suit in sight. That's a really helpful thing to remember. If you're sitting in East's position and you get the lead, you look at the dummy, you say, I think I need to put a club on the table. And now South is on a guess. How does he know which card to play? West opened the bidding. He could have queen or the ace, or maybe both. Well, all we know is that East has some diamonds and basically a minimum responding hand. That's all we know here. So what to do? What to do? Well, Marty Rodimus used to say that a 5-card suit in the dummy should never be ignored. Well, if there's a 6-card suit in the dummy, don't you think that would be true also? You have 8 hearts between you. What would happen if they break 3-2? We could set up some extra tricks in the dummy to pitch losing clubs, couldn't we? And that seemed like a reasonable idea. The only problem is, though, that we have to give up the lead in hearts before we can start roughing. What if East holds the king of hearts? Then what? Then he pushes the club through before we get a chance to pitch any losers. So after West leads the ace of diamonds, he continues with the king of diamonds. Having thought about all of this, as you make your plan, you play the 10 and then the 7. West leads out the king. There's not anything better for him to do. Then what are you going to do? You can certainly rough it in your hand, can't you? But there's another option that you have. You can trade a heart loser for a second diamond loser. Watch what happens if you don't rough, but instead you discard this little heart over here that's a loser. Voila! All of a sudden, if East has the king of hearts, he can't get the lead. He cannot get the lead. After winning the ace and king of diamonds, And seeing South discard, West says, oh, no more tricks in that suit. What's he going to do? Well, he could play a heart, but he suspects that that might be kind of useless now. And if he has the king, he doesn't particularly want to underlead it. The diamonds are a no-go. If he's sitting there with club honors, seeing weakness in the dummy, he knows that the clubs need to be led by his partner. If he just puts the ace of clubs on the table, that'll be the last trick that the defense takes. And South makes the bid. A good defender will not do that. He will exit safely with something like a trump. When you're in that kind of predicament and any kind of lead that you can make as a defender finesses you or gives away tricks, fall back on leading a trump. If you finesse your partner, you have not done anything the declarer couldn't do himself. I mean, it's unfortunate, but if that's the way the cards lie, that's the way they lie. So what West should probably do after winning the ace and king of diamonds is lead a trump. And now that South has made his plan, he takes the trick with the 9 of spades in order to lead a heart and then ruff a heart. Another spade back to the dummy, lead another heart. Both defenders follow. That means that you can get back to the dummy. You will have set up 3 good hearts in North's hand, and you can get back to the dummy with the ace of spades. Pitch 3 losing clubs on the long hearts, give up 1 club, losing 2 diamonds and 1 club, trading a heart loser for a diamond loser so you can rough those little cards in your hand. This is called a loser on loser play, and it is often the way that you can make an otherwise impossible contract. If it happens that South roughs that second diamond, he's going to have to concede a heart. And I'll tell you a little secret. East has the heart king. This is, after all, a lesson hand. I need for East to hold that heart king to make my point. When he looks at the dummy, he will fire a club back through, and now we have a guess. Save yourself from having to make a guess if there is a way to make the bid. Remember, West opened the bidding. He's a big favorite to hold club honors. This is identifying East as the danger hand. Do everything possible to keep East off lead, even if you have to pitch a loser that you weren't counting on. It works, folks. It really does. All righty. Now, here is another example of safe hand, danger hand. 3 no trump contract. The opening lead is the 4 of hearts. There are a couple of points I want to make on this hand here, besides safe hand, danger hand. Okay, what's the first thing we're going to do when the dummy comes down? After we see the opening lead and the dummy, we're going to count winners, right? Okay, we have 2 spade winners. The opening lead gives us 1 heart winner. Either East will play the ace and our king will be good, or he won't have it and the queen will take the trick. And I'll tell you why we play the queen here in this situation here in just a minute. So we have 3 tricks in the major suits. 2 in diamonds makes 5, and 2 in clubs will make 7. We need 2 more tricks. Where can we get 2 more tricks? Well, after the lead of the heart 4, South calls for the queen. So the queen holds the trick. Remember, if East has the ace, it's his job to help his partner set up his suit. So if he has the ace of hearts, he needs to cover that queen and fire another heart back. PDQ. He did not. Now, this means that we have our one heart trick that we counted, and the king is still available as a stopper so long as East doesn't get the lead. Remember here, the play to the first trick tells us where the ace of hearts is. That makes our king vulnerable, doesn't it? We now have only the king and 6 left. So we cannot allow East to get the lead. All right. This means our only potential source of tricks is diamonds. We have 9 cards in the suit, 2 tricks already. We ought to be able to develop 2 more, so long as East doesn't get the lead. Now, if the missing diamonds are 2-2, we don't have a problem. What are the odds that the diamonds are 2-2? Anybody remember? It's about 48%. 52% that they're 3-1. 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. Now, if they're 2-2, or if West has 3 diamonds, then there's no problem. East won't get the lead. But if East has the Queen, Jack, 10, there's nothing we can do to keep him from gaining the lead and pushing a heart through. But if he has 1 honor, then we can either duck a trick. If he has 1 honor and a small one, we can lead low from the dummy and duck the trick into the West hand. West can't hurt us in hearts. He can lead the ace, but the king is still guarded. And now our diamonds should be set up. No problem at all. Even if they're 3-1, we're going to take 4 more diamond tricks. So if he ducks the trick to West, whatever suit West returns, South now has 4 diamond tricks, and that's all he needs. Now, why is it right for declarer to call for the queen first? Well, you remember from your early days, we taught beginners honors from the short side first. That's part of it. Watch what happens if you let it ride around to the king. That leaves the queen bare in the dummy. And all that has to happen is it doesn't matter who has the diamond honors. Any heart lead will drop the queen. The queen left there by itself is not a stopper. So you have to go up with the queen at trick 1. Because if you don't and you win the trick with the king, then you have no chance to make the contract at all. If you haven't ever thought about this, look at this situation and memorize it. When the lead comes through a holding like this, you have to play the queen when you don't have the ace. Sometimes it will hold the trick, sometimes it won't. The next hand is virtually identical, but this time East takes the queen with the ace and returns the 10. Now, how does the declarer play? Who's the danger hand now? Well,
West.
Yeah,
West.
exactly. Declarer has to hold up that king. He's utilizing the hold-up play, but it's not the ace. Hold-up plays can be utilized whenever you have the master card in the suit. It doesn't have to be the ace. It may be the 10. You know, first trick can go Jack, Queen, King, Ace, and now the 10 is the master card. If that's the master card, then that's the card you hold up. In this case, it's the king. So East returns the 10. It looks very likely that he started with 3 of them, because remember, when you win the trick and you are returning partner's lead, you return current count. With 2 of them, you lead the top. So it looks like East started with 3 hearts, ace 10 small. It could be that he has just the ace 10 and West has 6 hearts. If that were the case, though, we might have had a weak 2 heart bid in the auction somewhere. And there was no mention of this in this hand when I found it. So let's assume that the hearts are 5-3 with West holding 5 of them. That's the one that presents the most danger to you. If after leading the 10, if West isn't smart enough to overtake it so he can continue hearts, then East will not be able to lead another heart. He'll have to lead something else, and that will tell you that he has no more hearts. Now East is the safe hand. When East has been exhausted of hearts, then he's the safe hand. Same thing here. These two hands are identical. There are 7 tricks available, and Declare has to find 2 more of them. If East has the diamond honors, or if they're 2-2, then that's okay. No problem. Everything will work out fine, and South's going to make his bid. But if East has a singleton and West has 3 of them, then he has a guarded honor. That's a dangerous proposition here, and one that you have to take into account. It's entirely possible, though, that East holds the singleton, queen, or jack. What you have to do, if East plays the singleton queen, you let him hold it. If he plays the singleton jack, you have to cover it. You cannot allow West to be on lead once you have been exhausted of that heart stop. If you allow East to play his 10 of hearts, play your 8. West will know how many partner has. He can see the dummy. He knows how many he has. And we're in no trump, not in hearts here. If you listen to the bidding, he knows that South didn't bid hearts. So he can figure out that his partner has 3 hearts, Declare has 3 hearts, and he saw 2 in the dummy. So once he holds up by leading 3 rounds of hearts, that king of hearts is gone. We absolutely cannot allow West to gain the lead. On the previous hand, East was the danger hand because he didn't have the ace of hearts. On this hand, he had the ace of hearts. He took the queen and he cleared the suit for his partner. That means East is out of hearts. We cannot allow West to gain the lead. So if East plays the queen of diamonds, all you have to do is let him hold it. You don't have to cover just because you have the ace and king. If he's got the jack too, well, okay. In fact, if he has all 4 missing diamonds, we don't care because he doesn't have any more hearts to lead to his partner. And notice, Declarer has control of the other suits. So it all boils down to the way he plays this diamond suit, and he plays it by thinking of what's the layout of the diamond suit that will allow me to keep West off lead. Everything I'm doing is in an attempt to keep West off lead. Now, if East doesn't play the queen, then Declarer just has to play off the ace and king and hope that everything falls. He can't afford not to lead diamonds through East, because if he can duck a trick to East to the queen, he will. Here are a couple of hands. These last 2 hands are problems for you guys. I've given you the auction and the play to the first couple of tricks. Don't worry, there's an answer slide behind this one. I would just like for you to tell me what are the considerations here that South needs to think about before he plays to trick 1. We're in 3 no trump. West leads the diamond 6 and East plays the 9. Declarer wins with the 10. Who is the danger hand? First off, how many tricks does Declarer have? 1 spade, 3 hearts, 1 diamond on the lead, and 3 clubs. He's a little short, isn't he? He's 1 trick short. He's got to find 1 other trick. Who's the danger hand here?
East.
That's right. How do you know that?
Because of the diamond situation, you don't want it coming through you.
Exactly, because the plate of the first trick says West has the ace and queen. East's failure
Right.
to play a high honor with only small cards in the dummy means he doesn't have one. That means ace and queen are sitting behind you. You know this simply because these are the rules of the way we've taught to play to convey information to our partners. And remember, East's job is to try to help his partner set up his suit. The best he can do is the 9. Sounds like my partners sometimes, or what I do when my partners lead their best suit. I seldom ever have the card they need. But the plate of the first trick tells us where the diamond honors are. So that makes East the danger hand. We have a choice on which way we can play to get extra tricks. Which 2 suits offer us the chance for extra tricks? Anybody have
Hearts and spades.
Hearts and spades, exactly. That spade suit's pretty formidable, isn't it? Heart suit is good too, actually, even might be a little better. So, should we take the spade finesse, or should we try to develop extra tricks in hearts? What should we do?
Spade finesse.
Where does the spade finesse end up? If you lead the 10 of spades, who plays last to the trick?
East.
East. East is the danger hand, isn't he?
Oh,
Do you really want to do that?
No.
If you do that, how about the heart suit? What's the best way to get more tricks from that heart suit? We've got 3. Could we get 2 more? We don't have to have all 5. We only need 4 tricks from hearts, not 5.
You can deck a trick.
How am I going to duck the trick, Terry?
Well, actually, you can play for the split.
Okay.
Or deck a
Okay,
trick.
here is another point. We have 7 cards between us.
Yeah,
What's the chance of getting a 3-3 split?
48,
36%.
36.
36. Now the 48% is 2-2 on 4 missing cards. When you have 6 missing cards, they tend to split slightly unevenly. So it's 36% for a 3-3 split. I personally dislike anything that doesn't give me at least a 50-50 chance. And I'm not even nutty about that. I mean, that's what a finesse is, right? 50-50. But how about this? You had the right idea, Terry. We want to keep East off lead. What if he has 4 hearts to the jack? If we just play ace, king, queen, uh-oh. When West shows out on trick 3, now it's too late. The way we can duck a trick, remember, we don't need all 5 tricks. We only need 4. We don't care if West has the heart jack, right? Because our king is still sitting down here accompanied by the jack. And if West gets the lead, oh, well, that's all right. So the key is to try to develop extra tricks in hearts and keep East off lead at the same time as to lead the small heart over to the king and finesse the 10 on the way back. If East has the jack, the finesse will win. If West has it, that's okay. We can win any return. He may take his diamond ace first. If he does, that's fine. We can win any return. If he returns a spade, go up with that ace. Don't even think about finessing. You did all this hard work to develop your extra tricks. Don't be tempted. Problem is, if West takes his diamond ace, he will probably return another diamond, just trying to clear the suit. He's not sure what your club holding is. He doesn't know that you needed only 1 more trick. If he continues the diamond and you win your king, that's great. We're in the hand that has the long hearts. If he doesn't, if he returns something else, a spade, for instance, you go up with the ace, then lead a club back to your hand to cash your remaining heart winners. This is the way you play when you have a choice of finesses, and you don't care if West has the jack, even if it's doubleton. We don't care. We don't care. We can pick up enough remaining tricks to make the bid. In this case, East was the danger hand. We had to keep him off lead. Here's another typical no trump auction. And despite the use of Stayman, West decided to lead a major suit. And looking at the spade suit between these two hands, you can kind of suspicion why. He leads the 4 of spades. Dummy plays the 2. East plays the 9. We're going to need to do some thinking here. This is kind of a combination of last week's lesson and this week's lesson. What card does South play to trick 1? How many tricks does he have? He has 1 in spades, right? None in hearts, 1 in diamonds, not looking good. We only have 2 tricks, but we have 4 in clubs. So we've got to find 3 more tricks somewhere. Well, we can see them, heart suit, but we have to give up the heart ace. What's going to happen here? Do I need to duck this? The rule of 7 tells me that I need to duck once. We have 6 cards in the suit. Rule of 7 says 7 minus 6 is 1, duck 1 round. Does that work here? I'm so glad nobody knows the answer. Otherwise, you wouldn't need me, would you? All right. Think what happens. Let's analyze the opening lead. How does the spade suit lie around the table? Does West have a perfect 3-card sequence or even an imperfect 3-card sequence? His lead of the 4 says he does not. Now, it's entirely possible that he led the 4 from King, Queen, Jack, 4-3, or the 4 from 4-3 doubleton, but those are very unorthodox leads and are therefore highly unlikely. What the lead of the 4 tells us is that West has a broken tennis, that he has 2 of the top honors, but not 3. That means that East most likely has a doubleton honor, and I can tell you that it is the Jack and the 9 just by the fact that he played the 9 at the first trick. The Jack, the 10 and the dummy, and the 9 are all equal cards. Remember, third hand plays high, but only as high as necessary. The Jack, 10, and 9 are all equivalent cards. So when he plays the 9, and I know he has a doubleton honor, then I know that he holds exactly the Jack 9. Watch what happens if I cover the 9 with the ace. I'm immediately going to play a heart. If it happens that East has the ace of hearts and he has the Jack left, his partner has to overtake it in order to continue the suit. I mean, if West has 5 and he sees 4 on the dummy, he knows that I opened 1 no trump. I have 2. I have at least 2 spades, don't I? That means his partner has only 2. He's going to have to overtake in order to be able to continue the suit. That means that the 10 will stand up. It will be a second stopper in the suit. So the play of the ace is correct at trick 1. Once they take their 2 more spade tricks here. The 10 stands up and you have enough, well, between that extra spade and 3 more heart tricks, you make an over trick if you play the ace. But if you duck the first trick, yes, it's entirely possible that East has the ace of hearts, but if West happens to have it, then here comes the flood of spades because the 10 is not a stopper. You have to think about the opening lead. What does it tell me? It tells me West does not have a 3-card perfect sequence or imperfect sequence or broken sequence, if you prefer. He can have the king, queen, something. He doesn't have the 9, the king, queen, 8. He can have, no, what else can he have? He doesn't have the jack. I know he has the king and queen because of what East played to the trick. If it happens that East has the jack 8, he has to play the jack. That makes it more obvious that it's right to cover, because now you can see that even if you were to lead out your spade right now, West could take the king and queen, and then the 10 would stand up. The fact that he had the jack and 9 makes it a little harder to know what he has. Now, it's possible that he has queen 9, but if that's the case, he should play the queen first. If he has king 9 and West has queen jack, then he should play the king. He did not. His failure to play either the queen or the king tells me, because I know West doesn't have a 3-card sequence of any kind in honors. I know East has a doubleton honor, and it has to be the jack, because the jack, the 10, and the 9 are all equivalent cards. Third hand plays only as high as necessary. If he were to play the jack, it would deny the 9. When he plays the 9, declarer should say, oh, okay, he has the jack. If he has the ace of hearts, or if partner has the ace of hearts, well, partner can lead out his king, dropping the jack, and now my 10 stands up. If East wins it and plays the jack, West has to be on his toes to overtake. Well, when he overtakes, it establishes the 10. You don't just blindly use any of the rules. Instead of saying rule of 7, we should call it the guideline of 7. Rules make it sound like you are supposed to follow them absolutely every time. There are exceptions to most every one of the rules that you hear in bridge, with the exception of the rule of 11. The rule of 11 always holds if it was a 4th best lead. So if this was a 4th best lead, and it has to be, because having a sequence, he would lead the top of the sequence. So see how all of this information that you're taught works together to help you figure out how to play hands. Your knowledge of how to play on defense helps you figure out how the cards lie around the table. That's why it's important to stop and make a plan, and defenders should stop and make a plan when the declarer does. Their thought process on this particular hand should be, where are we going to find 5 tricks? You know, what could my partner possibly have? With no bidding, you have no earthly idea. You can see 10 points in the dummy. You know, declarer has between 15 and 17. That means you and your partner have 14-ish between you. So you can figure out how many partner may or may not have just by utilizing the number rule. Some people call it the rule of 40 because there are 40 points in the deck, et cetera, et cetera. But this is how all of this stuff works together. Sometimes you can have lessons on individual topics and you never see really how to put it all together to help you figure out how to play a hand. I hope that you can see that from this lesson today. This is a really important concept for declarers to learn and practice. And the sooner you do it, or you learn to recognize danger hands, you'll be amazed at how much your results improve. So thanks everybody for coming this morning.
Hi, this is Susan. Thanks for stopping by the Oklahoma Collective's YouTube channel. Basically, this channel shows recordings of our free 1-hour bridge lessons for advancing players that we offer every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. Central Time. If you would like to join us, send your contact information to the email address shown on the screen, and we'll be happy to send you the link. If you would like to follow our channel and be notified when a new recording is uploaded, just
Push the subscribe button below.
thanks for stopping by. Bye.